Ready, set, adventure! Welcome to Hikanuki World Tour. Join us for a pre-Alaska cruise stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, Anchorage. We'll dine at Moose Tooth for some delicious pizza and local beer. In the morning, we'll have breakfast at Snow City Cafe. Then we'll take the scenic drive to the port of Whittier. So come see what adventure awaits. Today we're heading to Anchorage, Alaska. We'll be spending the night in Anchorage before we embark on our Alaska cruise on Holland America Line. It's our first Alaskan cruise and first time on Holland America, so we're excited but a little anxious too. And just like that, we spotted our first Alaskan wildlife right in the airport. When cruising, we always like to try to arrive at least a day before the cruise departs, because you just never know what might happen. We chose Courtyard by Marriott's airport location. They had a free shuttle from the airport, and I had points to redeem. And Anchorage hotels during cruise season can be quite pricey. Our room was on the third floor, number 334. You might be surprised to hear that the rack rate for this room was around $400 in early July, and that's why we chose to pay with points. The hotel was about a 5-minute drive from the airport, and as I mentioned, there was a free shuttle. Our cruise departs from Whittier, but there's really nowhere to stay in Whittier. Our view is of the detached pool house. Overall, the hotel room was pretty basic, but it was clean and rather spacious. Its location was convenient to the airport and more than adequate for an overnight stay. The hotel was about a 15-minute drive from downtown Anchorage, and Ubers are readily available. The room had most of the expected amenities, although it did not have a safe. The sink was separate from the toilet and shower. That's always helpful when more than one person is trying to get ready. The shower was quite large and featured amenities from 39 degrees north. The hotel was renovated in 2021 and everything felt refreshed. I would definitely recommend it for an overnight stay. And hallways were clean and quiet. There was a Starbucks located in the lobby. The lobby also had a bar, market, and plenty of seating. The indoor pool was in a separate building. Inside was a hot tub and pool. This is definitely a pool that the kids would have a great time splashing around in. The building also has a small fitness center. After getting acquainted with the hotel, it was time for dinner. We headed into Anchorage to Moose's Tooth Pub and Pizzeria. I'm always ready to try some pizza, and they also had their own craft beer. Our Uber driver mentioned that it's always crowded here, which is usually a good sign. Tonight the sun wasn't going to set until 11:30 p.m. It was a Saturday night and the place was very crowded, but they gave us a pager and we grabbed a beer to enjoy outside in the daylight. We ordered the Darth Delirium Stout and Northern Lights Amber, then headed outside by the fire to wait for our table. The kitchen was quite the busy place. The pizza smelled great and we were anxious to have ours. They had a small gift shop with branded merchandise. And now our table's ready. We perused the menu to see which pizza would catch our eye, but instead we saw the Diablo breadsticks. They sounded interesting, so we started with them. And there were many interesting and unique pizzas on the menu. The breadsticks were baked with cheddar and pepper jack cheeses and chili flakes, and then served with a spicy Diablo sauce. We enjoyed the breadsticks, and especially the dipping sauce. It tasted like a spicy chipotle ranch. On our pizza, we had half sausage, pepperoni, and mushroom, and on the other half, spicy Thai chicken. We thought both sides were equally good and enjoyed the pizza. In the morning, breakfast was served in the hotel lobby. Personally, we didn't think it was worth $16.95, so we took a pass. It was nice that there was a Starbucks in the lobby, and it was quite busy. There were quite a few guests enjoying breakfast, but we headed downtown instead. We saw that Snow City Cafe had very good reviews. Plus, we wanted to see a little more of Anchorage, so we took an Uber back downtown. Snow City is open daily from 6:30 a.m. till 3 p.m. It's another busy place, and we were quoted a 1-hour wait time. We took a few minutes to look around outside. We admired the mural with its intricate line drawings. Inside, one of the waiters gave us some information about the artist, Ted Kim. He had a t-shirt with the same design. We headed back inside to wait for our name to be called. There was a front counter with tempting bakery items, but I was keeping my eye on the counter because it had open seating. They also had an intriguing hot sauce bar. As we were looking at the merchandise, 2 seats at the counter opened up. And now we got a closer look at the menu. It was going to be a difficult decision. From the counter, we also admired all their awards. Someone ordered a decadent-looking cinnamon roll, but we opted to start with some hot coffee. One advantage of sitting at the counter is you can get the inside scoop on the best items. After looking at the menu and getting some advice, we found out you could order 2 different Benedicts. So when in Alaska, we had to try both the crab and smoked salmon. Both eggs were poached perfectly, and the hollandaise sauce was light and lemony. On the waitress's recommendation, I tried the spicy popper omelet. It had bacon, serrano peppers, cheese, cilantro, and caramelized onions. I would definitely come back and order this again. And chef's kiss to the perfectly cooked hash browns. On our way out, we grabbed a map of downtown. It was about 10 a.m. and we were getting picked up at noon from the hotel to go to the port in Whittier. So we had some time to look around. They're supposed to have the best tea, but they didn't open till noon. We weren't quite ready to try the reindeer sausage. We also didn't have time for the trolley, but we did see a bear. We saw a monument to William Henry Seward. He negotiated the purchase of Alaska in 1867. And inside this log cabin is the visitor center, but we didn't see any moose. We found Anchorage to be a very walkable city. We did wish that we had more time to explore. So hopefully another trip to Alaska is in our future. I'm guessing that many of today's visitors had just gotten off the ship that we're getting ready to get on. Speaking of which, we better get back to the hotel so we don't miss the bus. The hotel's van only goes back and forth to the airport. We arranged our transfer to Whittier with Alaska Cruise Transportation. They picked us up at the hotel, handled our luggage, and the driver gave a nice narrated tour. We passed the Lake Hood Seaplane Base, which our driver said was the busiest seaplane base in the world.
The tunnel to Whittier is used by vehicles and the train, and it's one tunnel, so we take turns.
We sat back and enjoyed the scenery on our hour-and-a-half drive to Whittier. Our driver pointed out points of interest as we drove along Turnagain Arm. At this time, the tide was out, so you could really see all the silt. Once through the short tunnel, the driver stopped so that we could take some pictures. The weather wasn't exactly cooperating, but it was still beautiful. This area features the largest tidal variations in the U.S. Powerful bore tides can be experienced here, reaching up to 10 feet high. This is also a good spot for wildlife viewing, and you may even see a beluga whale. Here comes one of the exotic birds of Alaska, the seagull. And with that, it's time to head back to the bus. And we're approaching the one-way tunnel. If you've ever been on the Seattle car ferry, the experience was similar. You're directed into a lane and then wait for the go signal. And we're fortunate because buses go first. And now it's our turn to go. The roof is shaped like that so that the snow doesn't accumulate. It's a very narrow tunnel, but our driver assured us that the bus always fits. Hold on, we're picking up some speed. And when we emerge from the tunnel, we'll be in Whittier, Alaska. Other than the cruise port, there's not a lot of reasons to visit Whittier. In fact, nearly all the residents here live in the same 14-story building. But it is the gateway to Prince William Sound and a beautiful place. An advantage of taking this bus is that we use the cruise ship tags, so our luggage will go directly to our cabins. And now it's time to board our new home for the next week. Stay tuned as adventure awaits. Thanks for joining us at Hikanuki World Tour and our stay at the Courtyard by Marriott in Anchorage, Alaska. Our travel wisdom for today is the official motto of the state of Alaska: North to the future. Be sure to subscribe to Hikanuki World Tour. If you liked the video, click that like button, and we'd love it if you'd leave us a comment. Please subscribe to Hikanuki World Tour, as it really helps our channel grow. Hit that notification button so you'll know when our next video is dropped. and follow us on Instagram. We really appreciate your support.